Hello, everybody. My name is Mati Serik from Voog, and I'm here today with the restaurant delivery service system project creator, Veiko Strauss. This system here is created in collaboration with Voog and Fleet Complete, and Veiko being the idea creator behind the man behind the system is going to introduce us to this new opportunity and will take us through the steps needed to get this option going for your restaurant as well. So Veiko, feel free to take it away.
Thank you, Matthias. Yes, in essence, what we're going to talk about today is a way to set up your own delivery service for a restaurant or little shop or whatever. And it's really nothing more than combining Fleet Complete's software with Voog's software. So it's not a product or service offered by one company, but it's rather like two companies coming together and looking for innovative ways to help small businesses during these challenging times. So when we talk about this solution, I think the best place to start is to describe where I got the idea from. And I worked as a marketing manager for quite a long time now, and I've never been in a situation like this before. In a situation like this, I mean, really thinking about what it is. What is okay to promote, what I can sell during these times that won't be too pushy or too doesn't come off in a wrong way, if you know what I mean. So I was looking for ways to do my job as well as possible, and at the same time as ethically or morally according to the standards that I have. So I started to think about from Fleet Complete's perspective, what are the software solutions that we can offer without any hardware installations, because a big part of our business is installing GPS trackers to cars and then getting the information that way. But in addition to that, we also have purely 100% software solutions. So I was diving into them and really looking for something that would make sense selling today. And in addition to that, I started to think about what can I personally do to really help somebody, and what are the industries that are most hurt by the COVID-19 crisis. And in addition to that, in our offices worldwide, we have our values printed out on big posters on the walls of the offices, and one of those values is local communities. We want to be part of local communities, and we want to support the local communities. And I started to play with those values as well to figure out what would be the best thing to do during these times as a global organization or as a marketeer in Baltics. So as the result, I started to think about local restaurants, because local restaurants in most part, at least in Baltic countries, are right now pretty much closed down. The physical doors are closed, and even if they are open, there are no visitors, in a way we've used to think. There's no people sitting and enjoying meals and drinks in those restaurants right now. And as there's no visitors, there's no revenue, and the waiting staff, they have no job to do right now because there is no tables to serve. And I think for the local restaurants, the crisis has hit them very painfully, and for them very big question is how to survive in these conditions and how to, save the jobs of the waiting staff. And then, and from my own selfish perspective, I'm worried that, will I be able to go to my favorite restaurant after the crisis is over for a lunch break or for a nice dinner with my wife? So yeah, I think that the local restaurants are really, a segment where we can really provide some value, and that value, in my opinion, can be setting up a contactless delivery service. That means that there is all sorts of couriers right now who still deliver stuff, and then life hasn't stopped globally because of the pandemic. But now for the restaurants, the question is how to innovate and how to generate some level of revenue to survive the crisis. And setting up their own contactless delivery service, in my opinion, would be very good as idea to execute. And what it means that you would be able to take the orders online without any human interaction. You'll be able to take payments online. And then with that solution, you need to manage those orders. Like if there is a delivery to be taken to a specific street or specific address, and you have 50 of those deliveries to do in a day, then it becomes really messy managing them. So you really need a good way to organize the deliveries and the work of the couriers. And now once you deliver the food, you really need to document it. You cannot ask a signature because it's not contactless. Right now, as a society, I think our first goal should be to lower the human interactions as many as lower them as much as possible. So how to document the delivery without taking a signature. And in addition to that, the waiting staff right now has no job, at least in a sense they've used to think about their jobs. And instead of firing them, maybe you can use them as couriers. Maybe they are the people who could and should take your orders and deliver them to customers. So metaphorically speaking, like your restaurant can still exist. The only difference being that the tables are not in the physical space that you rent, but they are across the city. So for me, it sounded like a really good idea. And how to create something like this technically, from the technical standpoint, it might seem very, complicated and challenging at the first place. But really, when I started to think about it, how could a restaurant create a contactless delivery service? Then I was quite surprised by the simplicity of the solution that is already, available. It's nothing more than setting up a online store on Voog platform, and then organizing the deliveries on Fleet Complete. And now the technical challenge was to put those two softwares to communicate between each other. So we made the development from Fleet Complete side, and now what's easily doable is in Voog you can set up the online store very fast. It doesn't have to be something fancy. It can be very simple, just putting your menu online and enabling the ordering of your foods. So this is doable with Voog, and Voog is very basic website builder for online stores, which means there's limitations to the functionality, but it also means that it makes the service so much easier to use because there is very plain and simple interface, and most of the things are like super intuitive. So any restaurant keeper can manage setting up the online store. And now integrating Fleet Complete and Voog is also very easy, because in Voog you can generate something that's called API key, which is only like one click on a button, and it's done. And then you have to just copy paste it and send it to Fleet Complete. You'll get login details, and the service is basically up. So the solution is really super easy, and there is nothing like innovative about it from the technological standpoint. The innovation part is like just thinking outside the box and really challenging your business model as a restaurant, and then reorganizing the way you do business, and refocusing your workforce to the different place. So the solution is easy. You can take the orders online on Voog's online store. You can take the payments online. Then the order's information will be automatically sent to Fleet Complete, and each order becomes a task for a courier. And then you can easily assign those tasks between different people, and the delivery guys just have to open a mobile application, click start job, navigate to the destination, document the delivery with a photo, and finish the job and to the next one. So it's really plain and simple. Now, to dive a little deeper, like to really convince you that it is super easy to build a online store on Voog, it's really describable in a very few simple steps. First thing you have to do, you have to log into Voog platform, create an account, choose a layout, and then once you have the layout, you just have to create a new page, which has the layout of product list. Once you've done that, you've created like a framework for your menu. You can then add different items to the menu, and for doing that you have to use page layout product. So if I'm creating a menu, Veikko's restaurant, I'll create a menu page with product list, and then I add sub pages with a layout of product, and then it would be like I don't know, lasagna, creme brulee, and coffee, whatever. These are products, and it's very easy, and there's nothing more to that. Once you've created the product pages, you just have to add the product picture, fill out the information, like, I don't know, this is the best lasagna in the world, made according to my grandmother's recipe. And then you just have to add the buy button. And once you have add the buy button, something that you see on the screen right now will appear, and you just define the product name, price, and the amount you have in stock. For example, maybe you can do only 50 lasagnas today. Type in 50, choose if you want to display the button with price or without price, and it's done, and you can start selling. So it's really easy. And once your online store is up and running, you want to connect it with Fleet Complete, and here you can see how to generate that API key or API token. It's really, you have to go to my profile, and there's a line like this, press this button, and it's done. So really like a no-brainer thing to do. And once you have your online store, once you have the API token, you just have to come to the dedicated landing page, which will be, you will be directed from Voog side to that landing page. You fill out your first, last name, email address, online store address, API token, and just send that information to Fleet Complete so that a sales representative from our side can do the setup for you in Fleet Complete and send you the login details over email, and it's up and running. So sounds easy, but how does it work in real life? So my friends run a restaurant, Kolm Tilli in Tartu, and it has been our pilot project. A restaurant that we've tested out the idea and really, verified if it's really working or not. So the first challenge was to set up the online store. They have a extensive menu. They are like a street food restaurant, and they have their own pizza menu. So they wanted to go live with very big menu. So setting up the online store took less than 24 hours, even with a menu like this. So yeah, and as you can see, it's nothing special, but it serves its purpose. What you see on the screen right now is different categories for their menu, like for sharing, pasta and noodles, ramen, pre-courses, children's menu, and so on. So it's really understandable and really according to the standards of the web. Now, once the online store was ready, adding the payment methods. In Estonia, people are not so used to using PayPal or something like that, but they use bank links. So implementing those bank links takes some more time because there's a lot of not a lot of, but some bureaucracy involved. You have to write the terms and conditions, and somebody has to check your online store that everything is by the line, and that's why it took almost like 48 hours to get those payment gateways in place for that specific store. But as you can see, it's still it was super fast, especially thinking in the context that a week before, that restaurant never thought about setting up their own delivery service like Uber Eats or Bolt Food. So okay, once the online store is up and running, you'll get some orders, and those orders all have a number. On the screen you see that there's like 602, 1, 600, 599, and so on. And that number is very important because it will be our reference in the ecosystem of that solution. That number is the reference, the main reference, where you can always follow up the invoice. You can always follow up the task for the courier, and you can send the order to the kitchen as well with that number. So this is our key piece of information. Once you have those orders coming in on Voog, they will look like this, and automatically they will be imported to Fleet Complete system as well, and they share the same number. Now, what will happen here is that you'll see all those orders and all the important information, like the name of the customer, the phone number, the address, and then the status of that job, which is to do in Estonian here. And also you'll see those tasks on the map as well. They're displayed on the map, so you'll get a pretty good idea how to divide those tasks between different couriers. For example, in this case, you see that 3 jobs are on one side of the river and 3 are on the other side. So it makes sense to assign these tasks to one person and these to another. So really plain and simple. And now how that works is you just drag and drop a task to a delivery person. So really easy. And this is all that the we call operator has to do. And in case of Colindilli, there is like a dedicated person looking at that view and assigning those tasks to couriers. Once you have assigned the task to courier, the courier gets a notification on the mobile application. And this is how the tasks appear on the driver or the courier mobile application. They are already in the right order. And now you see the name of the customer, the phone number, the address, and all the important information here. And all the courier has to do is come to the restaurant. You can see those order numbers. You have like I hope you will set up like a dedicated pickup area for those deliveries. Write with a pen on the paper bag to the reference number, and once the courier comes, opens the mobile application, just pick up the right bags, goes to car, puts them on the backpack, or however you do it, and then just click. The courier has to just click on the task that he is or she is about to start. Once you click on the task, it will open up like a detailed view of this task. You'll see the address and also the description, like if there's any notes attached to the order, like left it behind the door and ring the doorbell or whatsoever, in order to make the delivery really like contact free. All the information is available here. And now the courier just has to click the begin button to start the job. Once this is done, you just click on the address on the 3 dots here, and then navigate to destination, which will open up like Google Maps, Waze, or whatever navigation application you might have on your phone. And you can just start driving. And this is exactly how it goes for Colindilli as well. Now, once you arrive to the destination, you just do whatever you were asked to do in the description, like you leave the bag on the chair behind the door, or just put it on the ground and ring the doorbell, whatever, and you take a photo of that, just to document that the food was really delivered. Once you've taken the photo, you just go back and click finish, and the delivery is done, and you take on the next task. And it's really, really, enabling the waiting staff to be couriers, because there's really, you don't have to think too much about what you have to do next or how you go there or whatsoever. You just click, you get the information, navigate to the destination, drop the bag, take the photo, and leave. So it's really making life very easy and organizable. And in addition to that, you can also switch those phones as GPS trackers, so you can really analyze the data of your deliveries, the mileage, the time spent. Maybe you need to engage more couriers. Maybe you have to lower the personnel that is delivering the food in order to become efficient business-wise as well. But it's all really it's all there, and it's very doable. And results for Colindilli. The physical restaurant has been closed for over a month now. We started this project also like a month ago already, and with the 10 first days, they delivered almost 700 orders and generated a little over 11,000 euros of revenue, which is not making them rich. It's a big restaurant. They have at least 10 people working for them, but it's enough to sustain the business and survive. And 11,000 is a lot more than 0 euros. So in that specific case, the solution has proven to be very successful. And as they were the first restaurant in that specific area to start doing something like this, they also received a lot of attention, marketing wise or PR wise. And then maybe they have even, they have reached customers that they would have not reached, in normal circumstances. So for them, starting their own delivery service has really paid off. And and one additional upside of creating your own delivery service is that if you use Uber Eats or Bolt Food or any other existing services for food delivery, the commission fees are quite hefty, at least in the Baltic region. So from all the restaurant has to give to the service provider approximately like 20%. And if you think about the revenues that restaurants do on a daily basis, it adds up quite fast. And setting up your own delivery service saves you that money. And on top of that, you don't have to charge the end customers as well, because you already have the working force and you already have the running cost of working force. So you're already paying for the employees. So now you just find a new way to use them, and then you really don't have to charge the end customer, which makes the service also cheaper for them. And cheaper things are usually more popular. So really working for the idea in that sense as well. And to conclude, I just want to go over once more the benefits of these solutions. The first benefit is that it's super fast to set up and really easy to experiment with. You can set up the store with one day. It will take 2-3 days to add the payment gateway, and you can start experimenting. In addition, that the tasks are really easily manageable. You can assigning tasks to a specific person is super easy. All the important information is available in the mobile application for the courier, so you really don't need a lot of papers or notes or whatsoever. So it's really organized and understandable. Navigate to destination functionality makes the courier's life super easy. You even don't have to think about the address you're going, or really think about in which part of the city it is. You just click on navigate to destination, and your application, navigation application, will direct you there. And in addition to that, it's really easy to document the delivery. Just take a photo and it's done. And on the bigger picture, for a restaurant, it's really giving or creating an opportunity to generate cash flow, which can keep you alive. And in case of Contilli, nobody has lost their job. In fact, there are days when they need to hire like additional workforce to manage the deliveries, or find new drivers to do the deliveries. So it has really proven to be a great success for them. And in addition to that, the solution helps to save the commission of Uber Eats, Bolt Food, and Volt. And the service is cheaper for the end user, at least in the case of Contilli. And for me personally, the solution has already paid itself off, because I know that this idea has saved jobs of 8 people. And I've noticed that the local community is really, coming together and supporting Kolm Tilli and the other restaurants that has started this solution. So the idea here is not just to survive the crisis or, make some easy money or, find clever ways how to, become richer. But the idea here is really to do everything we can to save the jobs. And really, local restaurants are a big part of our culture. It's a meeting place. It's a part of our lives, and I personally would not want to lose that part. And it's also like a dimension of that solution to really bringing the communities together in order to help saving those restaurants. So the conclusion: in the case of local restaurants, there is a lot that can be done during this crisis. You can survive as a local restaurant, and you can find ways how to use your workforce and not laying them off. And just to illustrate what we can achieve with this solution is that in US alone, there is almost 14 million people employed in the restaurant industry. And now the restaurants being closed, all those jobs are, in danger, if you know what I mean. And we can, this solution, I personally feel, can help saving those jobs, at least a number of them. And this is really what I wanted to come up with when I first started to think, like, what can I do during this crisis? And this is the end of my presentation. But the question here is, like, is it really the end, or is it just the beginning of becoming creative, innovative, and thinking outside of the box and experimenting, and really, trying to take the best of making the best out of the situation that we are living in right now. I know my answer, but you have to figure out what you want to do. But I hope that you'll be inspired and you'll try out our little solution. But in the end, I want to say thank you for listening in. I know that the English is not my first language, so maybe I made some grammar mistakes or whatsoever, but I think they don't matter. I hope I was able to deliver my idea, and I hope it was understandable enough. And to wrap up, I want to say that when I first had the idea, it was, we were the first week into the lockdown in Estonia, and I just pitched this idea to Madis Uudam, who is the global director of software development in Fleet Complete. And he really was the first one to hear about it, and he really liked it. And without him, this solution would not exist. So I think he deserves a huge thank you or shout out. And same goes for Jüri Tarkpea, who really, approved our idea and approved using the development resources that we have in the company. And in addition, Jaanus Truu, just validated the idea and asked the right questions. And if you want to know who, really created this opportunity for the restaurants, it was not me. It was two developers from Fleet Complete. It was Mihkel Oviir and Martin Arujõe who really made the integration between Voog and Fleet Complete. So they are the ones who deserve maybe the biggest thanks. And in addition to that, I want to say personal thank you note to Voog's team, because they immediately changed their development plans and added implementing Stripe as a payment gateway to the plans in order to make this solution available globally. And they really, aligned with the idea and then came behind it, which I think was really big step for them as well, or, bold move at least. And thank you for your time. I'm Veiko Strauss, and I was fortunate enough to initiate this idea and solution. So, Maitis, I hope it was good enough overview. And
yeah, thanks so much for the very thorough overview. A little detail I would like to add to Veiko's presentation here is that if you guys are really into this opportunity and want to give it a go, then of course you can really easily join with Voog. There is a free webinar available for you that will take you through the whole setup inside Voog. If you want to get some help with setting up your first store items or whatever. Also, you can always get in contact with us directly through our website, where's the chat window, or also on the email that I will add to the screen right now. And also directly to us. All the contacts are available in the description box below the video. So whatever you have may have any questions, then feel free to reach out and we will make sure that you will get your answers, get your help, and you will be able to give this opportunity a go. And we really hope that this will help out your restaurant as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Well, thanks guys for watching. And yeah, this is it. Good luck and let's stay in contact. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.